Hello, everybody! Finally, we get to continue trying out making a Mega Man Rock and Roll playthrough. Okay, so, yeah, lore. Let's just sit through this real quick so you can understand the story if you haven't watched the original video, which you probably have. Alright, here we go. New game. Alright, so finally, we get to the point where I go on a years-long rant related to Mega Man. Alright, Mega Man is not a bad character in this game, and he is very viable compared to Roll. Roll is also very viable in this game. I just wanted to get that out right now so you can understand why I'm ranting about this, because everyone says they're not viable. Mega Man has a charged shot, and he also takes less damage from enemies, which automatically gives him a lot of combat superiority over Roll. But, just like, they both control the same, aside from, or, well, maybe I shouldn't mention it yet. I'll mention it when I get there. The reason why Mega Man is viable is because he's powerful without special weapons. He can take down certain enemies easier than Roll, and just generally more powerful. So you you would have to use multiple shots, take a long time to kill that guy, shield attack or whatever it was called again. It'd take a lot of shots, is my point. But as Mega Man, you can just use a single quick charge shot, since they buffed Mega Man to have a faster charge shot. Now you can charge faster and just spam out charge shots. And if you don't like charge shots, you can still use the regular buster. So Mega Man has no real flaws aside from the fact that, no, he doesn't have any flaws. He's weaker platforming wise, but still extremely effective due to future tools you'll unlock. But yeah, I am completely getting off topic right now. Okay, new game. I'm playing as Roll right now. Roll's abilities is that they have a double jump and that's it. They also take more damage from bosses, which makes them less effective for combat. And yeah, they're more effective for taking down enemies precisely and slow. Bigger enemies slowly, but more precise. Smaller enemies more precisely. Roll has an easier time dealing with smaller enemies like Tellies, since the double jump allows them to more precisely put themselves in a location where they can hit it, compared to Mega Man, where they just have to, pray the charge shot hitbox actually hits them. My point is, Roll and Mega Man are both viable for their own specific situations. Roll isn't superior in every single way. It just depends on whether or not you use the charge shot from Mega Man and whether you're actually good at taking no damage during fights. Alright. Oh, I feel like that should be over with, so now I can continue on with the level. At this stage, basically just like an introduction to your abilities, is both Mega Man and Roll. You can switch back to Mega Man here to see, how much better he is compared to Roll for combat situations like this. For Roll, it took 3 shots to destroy those guys, but for charge shot, just 1. That's how you can tell Mega Man's more powerful. Easy to defeat the enemies that are slightly more difficult for Roll. Comes into use more than it looks. Dennis made a great decision programming these characters to be like this. If he made Mega Man like more powerful, giving him a more powerful charge shot, then he'd just be overpowered at that point. If he made Roll have a lower double jump, then what was the point of the double jump? He made a perfect decision in keeping the double jump how it is, but speeding up the charge shot, making it easier to use more often. Now, to prove my point that Mega Man is not completely useless, we're gonna fight Missile Man now. I'm gonna be taking more breaks during this playthrough, since, you know, apparently people don't like it when I play for like 18 years straight. So, yep, we're gonna beat this stage, and then we're gonna take a break. First, eat W Tank. Also, here's the menu. Here's you got the Mega Buster, rock and roll letters, you'll find out what they do later, and here's the tanks. You also have an energy balancer, which is always active, unless you disable it for some reason, and the exit utility, which doesn't work until you beat a stage. Here you just have some missiles flying at you, not that hard to deal with. And you got, yeah, it's been so long since I played Mega Man 2, I forgot the name of the birds. But, yeah, those birds, they're back. Not as annoying as before.
You saw nothing.
As you can tell, I'm not as good as I used to be with Mega Man. I took a small break to just, you know, rest. I don't really remember the stage designs perfectly, and enemy locations more specifically. So, yep, I'm just going off of vague memory, and also a few test runs I did. So, yep, here we go. This is the interior section with, you know, interior stuff. Conveyor belts that specifically move left or right, you can see by the arrows and colors. Pretty good. No need for colorblind people to suffer. Yeah, there's not much to say. Crushers, stuff. I am not good at this commentary thing. Yeah. Over here is an extra life. Conveyor belt is currently disabled because I don't have a specific weapon that you could use here to, let's say, power up a generator that would or would not activate a conveyor belt to give me that extra life, because I am moving conveyor belts now. Unlike Mega Man 2. Okay, aside from my blatant hatred for Mega Man 2, items, stage design, and speed. One of the reasons I like this game, now that I remember, is speed. It feels like you can go so much faster now, with a dedicated slide button, the fact that it feels accurate, you can jump out of a slide. It just feels amazing. Mega Man feels great to control as he does in the regular games. Here, there's a secret item there I can't get. And here's one of the letters over here. Now, if you can't tell by a mysterious L, that one's for Roll. Once you get this, nothing happens until you get the other three. It's rolled. So here we are, the final stretch of the stage. Just kidding. Here's some of these guys. Now, for some people, these guys might give you PTSD, and for other people, you might not remember these guys. Or footholders. Couldn't remember somehow. These guys used to be absolutely painful in Mega Man 1 since they used to have random movement, but now someone decided, you know, let's make it so the player can have fun, and decided to remove the RNG. So now it's just consistent up and down, left to right patterns. They also consistently shoot instead of just like after a certain amount of time they shoot here. Now it's consistent. They always shoot once they reach a certain point. So yeah, I think we're about to reach the final segment of the stage. If not, then we're halfway there. I can't remember. Ignore me while I speed through this stage. The stage itself, pretty good stage. Fast-paced, great music, fit the speed. The crushers here are a bit unfriendly to new players, but once you figure it out, they're pretty easy to deal with. Especially that section there, that one really messes up new players. I can confirm. I died a lot there. So here we have our first boss, which brings up another point about how Mega Man is better than Roll. They don't take as much damage. Everyone complains about the bosses in this game dealing way too much damage, but I'm like 99% sure it's just because everyone played Roll. Because here, you can see the boss doesn't do nearly as much damage as everyone complains they do. See? Also, Mega Man's Charge Shot disposes of bosses really well. In fact, it's decently fun to fight most bosses without their weakness if you're playing Mega Man. For me, Roll just isn't as fun. Sure, they're easier to cheese platform sections with, but if you don't have a special weapon, you're basically just stuck at the boss unless you have 3 E-tanks. Here's my first special weapon. Also, cool pose. Cool artwork. And Blast Missile. This weapon is like an instant charge shot, kind of. It starts out slow, it speeds up, and then does a lot of damage to enemies. It has a little bit of splash, but not much. Kind of like the charge shot. Charge shot does have splash, I'm like 100% sure about that. And the missile itself can destroy, I forgot what they're called again, like cracked bricks or whatever. They can just destroy them, leading to some secret areas or just some goodies. It's a pretty helpful weapon, great against enemies, stronger enemies specifically. And it does decently well against groups of small enemies too. So in general, it's just a charge shot. Sure, it gets destroyed instantly, but the splash it has makes it great for dealing with small enemies, and the damage it has makes it great for dealing with large enemies. It's just all around a great weapon, aside from the fact it's a bit slow. I love it. Here we have Tideman. You'll never guess what Tideman's stage is about if you haven't been looking at the video or anything. Also, yeah, I think I completely gave up on that end of video earlier thing, so I guess I'll end it at the end of this stage. Here we have an extremely stressful situation, which I am not good at handling. That jump is stressful, because if you miss, then you have to keep going back and forth in order to get it. So that gives us a letter to the rock section. The left side of the Robot Masters gives you the rock letters, the right side gives you the roll letters. Well, here, you just do some simple precise platforming and precise shooting. This is one of the sections where roll would be easier to use, but Mega Man, obviously, still extremely effective. Also, these eggs, if you're wondering why they're designed differently, you shoot them, then they turn into smaller ones. You shoot these ones, they don't. Another reason why Mega Man is so much better than Roll. Maybe not so much better, but just as effective as Roll. I keep bringing that point up because everyone, the mother, seems to complain about Mega Man being weak in this game, and that this game is unbalanced, contrary to what it actually is. An extremely balanced and fun game, designed for both characters, since they provide 2 characters. You think they wouldn't design the game around both of them? Here's a mini-boss. Another reason why Mega Man works great is because of these guys. Roll is extremely bad at dealing with mini-bosses, from my playthroughs at least. Roll always can't destroy these guys fast enough to deal damage to the weak spot, but Mega Man is extremely effective at dealing with the weak spot and the shrimp. They're shrimp, right? Yeah, shrimp. Either way, I like the design of this angular fish enemy too. The fact that it uses energy pellet to lure enemies in is amazing. Great design choice. And once you defeat it, you get the energy too, so if the boss is hard for you as Roll or Mega Man for some reason, boom, get items. Here these enemies light up the screen so you can see, since, you know, we're in Deep Ocean Zone now. You can't see any of the platforms unless it's illuminated. Those jellyfish also illuminate, but then again they have hitboxes and they're also annoying, and they also run around everywhere and ruin your life. So I don't really recommend trusting them ever for anything at all. Don't trust the jellyfish. Please don't betray you. Here you can see my lack of competence when it comes to playing video games. It's not that hard. Here you can witness me about to go insane because I just realized that I grabbed the W tank instead of an E tank. Whoops. Most of the enemies in this stage are well designed, it's just that a few gimmicks are a bit stressful, and I don't like being stressed out. So, bias minus, but aside from that, great stage. Great music, it's usual for Mega Man, unless you count, like, I don't know. I don't know any bad Mega Man songs right now off the top of my head, aside from the entirety of Mega Man 8. Okay, this section used to stress me out a lot, but then I realized that you just wing it, and everything usually goes well unless it doesn't. In that case, too bad, too sad. You get trolled by level design. It's the same problem with Jewel Man. Here we have Tideman, a boss that deals decent damage against Mega Man. His Roll deals a lot of damage with her anchor attack, to the point where I feel like this boss is the reason why everyone complains about Mega Man Rock and Roll, because of how much damage they do against Roll. This game is designed around both of them. I'm not crazy. I feel like you... Oh, right, this is like Mega Man and Bass situation, where it's like a Mega Man and Bass if Mega Man and Bass is actually good. Since one character is good for mobility, and the other one is good for combat. But the difference is, both are viable in combat, it's just that one is more viable. Both are viable for platforming, since the platforming is actually good, but one is better. It's like if Bass actually did damage. Here, I just remembered that I can use Blast Missile against this guy because it absolutely destroys him, and takes no skill. You can also destroy the bubble the bubble shield he has, with regular Buster Shots, but the Blast Missile does it way easier. So, here we go. New pose. Oh, not yet. New pose. And now we unlock one of my favorite weapons in this game, Shield Bubble. It's a defensive shield, obviously, that protects you from projectiles and enemies. It protects you from a lot, but if you abuse it too much, it explodes, and you can float on the water, which doesn't come into much use aside from a few situations where I laughed at myself for being a clown. Here we get Rush Coil, a move that makes Mega Man basically just as viable for Roll as for traversing higher terrain. God. Okay, either way, I think I have to take a break now. So, let's just stop the recording here and continue it off in, like, I don't know, a few minutes. Bye!